Imagine working 10 exhausting, back-breaking years of your life to pay off a massive debt.
Just completely giving up your youth.
Right. You give up your youth, your comfortable home, your peace of mind. You destroy your hands scrubbing floors, all to pay for a borrowed diamond necklace that you accidentally lost.
It sounds like an absolute nightmare.
It really is. And then, a decade later, you discover one shocking secret that makes every single ounce of that suffering completely useless.
Oh.
Yeah. Have you ever wondered how one single lie can completely reshape someone's entire life?
It's a heavy question.
It is. So welcome to the English ABC channel. To all the viewers and listeners joining us today, we are exploring a very famous story called The Necklace by the French author Guy de Maupassant.
A true classic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And our goal today is to help you practice your English listening, pick up some new vocabulary, and just experience a truly unforgettable story.
Yeah, and this story, it remains so powerful today because the core emotion is, well, it's universal. Like, we have all felt that desire to appear, more successful than we actually are.
Oh, for sure. But to really understand why the characters make such terrible decisions, we first have to look at the world they live in, right?
Exactly. So we are in 19th century Paris.
Okay, setting the scene.
Right. And, in modern society today, we have some social mobility. Like, you can start a business or learn a new skill and change your financial situation.
Then work your way up.
Right, you can. But in 19th century France, the social structure was basically like a fortress with locked doors.
Very strict.
Very. Society was strictly divided by class. The wealthy high society completely ignored the middle class.
And that brings us to our main characters, right? The Loisels.
Yes, the Loisel.
They belong to that middle class. The husband works as a modest clerk at the Ministry of Public Instruction.
So he's a government worker.
Exactly. And, they aren't starving. They have a servant. They have enough food, a nice little apartment.
But they are entirely shut out from that world of luxury and power that the high society has.
Right. And that rigid social wall is basically the invisible force that drives everything that goes wrong in this story.
It really creates a pressure cooker for the main character, Mathilde Loisel.
Oh, Mathilde. She is a fascinating character.
She is, because she possesses the beauty and grace of an aristocrat, but she has no wealthy family connection.
No money at all.
Right. And women at this time had very few ways to build their own wealth. Marriage was essentially her only economic vehicle.
So she marries a simple government clerk, and she is just absolutely miserable.
Completely miserable. The author describes her daily psychological torture so vividly.
Yeah, she looks around her apartment and literally feels physically sick.
She hates the worn-out chairs.
And she hates the ugly curtains. There's this scene where her husband sits down to dinner, uncovers a pot of simple stew, and he says, it's like, I don't know anything better than this.
And she feels deeply insulted by that.
Right. While he's just enjoying his humble life, Mathilde sits there hallucinating about, luxurious tapestries and tall bronze lamps.
Elegant dinners served on shining silver plates.
Exactly. She's living in a fantasy.
Well, Maupassant explains this frustration by saying she felt she was born into this simple family as if by a mistake of destiny.
Oh, destiny. That is a crucial vocabulary word for our listeners.
It really is. Destiny basically means the events that will necessarily happen to a particular person in the future.
So like a simple synonym would be fate.
It's exactly fate. If you believe you are meant to be a great leader, well, you believe that is your destiny.
Got it. So Mathilde firmly believes her destiny should have included wealth and admiration.
Yes. And because her daily reality is the exact opposite of this imagined destiny, she feels completely cheated by the universe.
She totally believes she's a victim, but looking at her from a modern perspective,
yeah,
I just wonder if she is simply trapped by a lack of gratitude.
Oh, that's an interesting point.
She reminds me of people today who spend hours, just scrolling through social media.
Oh, staring at influencers taking private jets to Dubai or Paris.
Exactly. And then they look up from their phones, look at their perfectly normal, safe apartments, and suddenly feel angry.
Right. So you're asking, is she a victim of her strict society? Or is she just destroying her own happiness by obsessing over what she lacks?
Exactly. What do you think?
I think it's a mix of both. The psychological trap is identical to modern fear of missing out, FOMO.
FOMO. Yeah.
She is obsessing over a curated image of wealth, But the 19th century social constraints make her situation much more permanent.
True, she can't just delete an app or change careers.
No, she can't. Her beauty is really her only social currency, and she feels it's just rotting away in that plain apartment.
Her complete inability to find joy in her reality is her fatal flaw.
It really is, though her husband actually attempts to cure this depression.
He does try. One evening, he comes home holding this large envelope, looking incredibly proud.
He managed to secure an exclusive invitation to a grand ball.
Yes, hosted by the Minister of Public Instruction. This is a massive, formal party.
And it is incredibly difficult for a simple clerk to get this invitation.
So he assumes she will be thrilled to finally step into this high society she dreams about.
But instead of thanking him, what does she do?
She throws the invitation onto the table and begins to cry.
Unbelievable.
She refuses to attend. And her reasoning is that she has no suitable dress. She says she would rather stay home than look poor in front of wealthy people.
Which really reveals so much about the husband's motivation, doesn't it?
It does. He is just desperate to make her happy.
So he asks her, how much a proper simple dress would cost.
And she calculates it carefully and asks for 400 francs.
Which makes him turn pale.
Yeah, because he had been secretly saving exactly 400 francs to buy a hunting gun.
To go shooting with his friends.
Right. And he immediately abandons his own dream and just gives her the money.
Why does he do this? I mean, he operates out of pure devotion, even when she is acting completely selfishly.
He really does. So he buys her the dress. But as the ball approaches, she is miserable again.
Of course she is. Now she complains that she has no jewelry.
No diamonds, no pearls. Her husband suggests wearing natural flowers, which were actually quite fashionable.
But she rejects the idea entirely.
Yeah, she insists there is nothing more humiliating than looking poor among rich women.
So he suggests she borrow something from her wealthy school friend, Madame Forestier.
And Mathilde loves this idea.
Ow, she jumps at it.
She visits Madame Forestier, who is incredibly generous. She brings out this massive jewelry box and tells Mathilde to just choose whatever she likes.
So Mathilde tries on pearl necklaces, heavy gold crosses, elegant bracelets.
She stands in front of the mirror, putting them on, taking them off. The text says she simply could not make up her mind.
Oh, let's pause there. Make up your mind is a very useful English expression.
Yes, it is.
To make up your mind simply means to make a final decision after considering different options.
Right, like imagine staring at a huge menu in a restaurant for 10 minutes.
Yeah, and when you finally choose the chicken, you have made up your mind.
Perfect example. So Mathilde is paralyzed by all these choices. She struggles to make up her mind until she finally opens a black satin box.
And sees it?
Yes, a superb, breathtaking diamond necklace.
Her hands actually tremble as she picks it up.
She fastens it around her neck, over her new dress,
Yes.
and just feels this overwhelming sense of power.
She asks her friend if she can borrow just this one piece, and the friend immediately agrees.
And with these borrowed diamonds, Mathilde finally has her armor to enter high society.
So the night of the ball finally arrives.
And Mathilde is an absolute triumph.
Maupassant paints this vibrant, sensory picture of her success. She is the prettiest woman in the room.
She is elegant, smiling, and completely intoxicated by all the attention.
All the men want to be introduced to her. Cabinet officials want to waltz with her.
She finally gets to step into the destiny she always imagined.
The story describes her dancing in a state of pure ecstasy.
Oh, ecstasy. That's our next vocabulary word.
It is a fantastic word for English learners. It's a noun that means an overwhelming feeling of intense happiness and joyful excitement.
It goes way beyond normal happiness, right?
Far beyond. A good synonym would be bliss.
Bliss, yeah. And what would be the opposite?
The opposite would be absolute misery. Like winning an Olympic gold medal would bring you ecstasy.
So for these few hours at the ball, Mathilde is lost in perfect ecstasy, just feeding entirely on the admiration of others.
But, reality always returns.
Always. At 4 o'clock in the morning, the magic ends. The ball is over.
Her poor husband, who has been sleeping in a small side room since midnight, brings her coats so they can leave.
But these are her modest, everyday coats. They clash terribly with her elegant ball gown.
And that contrast just shatters her illusion.
Other wealthy women in the hall are wrapping themselves in costly, heavy furs to brave the cold.
And Mathilde feels this sudden, intense shame.
She believes that if these wealthy women see her plain coat, the illusion of her wealth will just break.
So she decides she must escape before anyone notices.
She literally runs away. She rushes down the stairs and out into the freezing Parisian night.
Her husband yells for her to wait while he finds a cab, but she just ignores him. She's terrified of being exposed as middle class.
So they wander the dark, cold streets shivering. Finally, they find a shabby, ancient carriage.
And the author notes something interesting here, right?
Yeah, he notes that these carriages only come out at night in Paris, as if they are too ashamed of their misery to show themselves during the day.
That detail is such a brilliant reflection of Mathilde herself.
It really is. So the carriage drops them at their apartment door. They climb the stairs silently. The dream is officially over.
Mathilde stands before the mirror, wanting to look at herself in her glory one final time.
She takes off the plain coat, and suddenly...
She screams.
She screams. She turns frantically to her husband. The diamond necklace is gone.
Oh, panic instantly takes over.
They search the folds of her dress. They search her cloak, her pockets, the floor.
They find nothing.
Nothing at all. Let's actually pause the story right here. I want to ask you, the listener, to think about your own life.
Yeah, put yourself in her shoes.
You have just lost a priceless piece of jewelry belonging to a wealthy friend. What would you do?
The situation.
Do you go to her house the very next morning, admit the mistake, and face the embarrassment? Or does fear convince you to hide the truth?
It really is the ultimate test of character. I mean, in modern times, perhaps we confess and rely on insurance.
Right.
But for a 19th century government clerk, admitting to leasing a borrowed treasure could mean social and professional death.
If the husband is labeled a thief or completely irresponsible, he loses his job. They face total ruin.
So they let terror make their decisions.
The husband spends the entire next day walking the cold streets, retracing their steps.
He visits police stations, newspaper offices to offer a reward.
He visits the cab companies. And he returns in the evening, just pale and hollow-eyed. The necklace is truly gone.
And instead of choosing honesty, they choose a cover-up.
They visit different jewelers until they find a diamond necklace that looks exactly like the one they lost.
But the price is terrifying.
36,000 francs.
An unimaginable sum for a clerk. But they decide they will buy it and substitute this new necklace for the lost one.
Substitute. That is a very powerful verb here.
Yes. To substitute means to put one thing or person in the place of another.
A simple synonym would be replace, right?
Exactly. Like if a recipe requires butter and you have none, you might substitute cooking oil.
Got it. In this case, Mathilde substitutes a brand new 36,000 franc diamond necklace for the original.
And when she hands the box back to Madame Forestier, the wealthy friend doesn't even open it.
The substitution works perfectly. The secret is safe.
But preserving that secret destroys their future entirely.
To pay the 36,000 francs, the husband gives up his entire inheritance of 18,000 francs.
And to get the rest of the money, he goes to cruel moneylenders, taking out loans with brutal interest rates.
He signs away the rest of his life. Why does he do it? Like, why doesn't he force his wife to tell the truth?
We see this tragic combination of the sunk cost fallacy and overwhelming social panic.
Yeah.
Once they start down the path of lying, turning back feels impossible. The husband sacrifices himself because he loves her, and he just cannot bear to see her face a public scandal.
He essentially chooses financial slavery over social humiliation.
Which plunges them into 10 years of absolute misery.
They dismiss their servant. They move out of their comfortable apartment and rent a tiny, freezing attic under a roof.
Mathilde is forced to learn what heavy, crushing physical labor actually means.
Her daily life becomes a battle for survival.
She washes the greasy pots and pans, destroying her fingernails.
She carries heavy buckets of water up the stairs every single morning, stopping at every floor just to breathe.
She dresses in cheap, ragged clothes.
She goes to the butcher and the grocer, arguing aggressively over every single penny to protect their meager funds.
And her husband works just as hard.
Oh yeah, after finishing his day job at the ministry, he works late into the evening balancing accounts for a tradesman.
Late at night, he copies documents by hand for a few pennies a page.
And they maintain this exhausting routine for 10 long years.
The physical toll on Mathilde is severe.
She loses every trace of her beauty.
Her hands become rough, red, and calloused. Her hair is messy, her skirts are crooked.
And she speaks in a loud, harsh voice. The elegant woman who dreamed of bronze lamps and delicate dinners has been entirely erased.
Replaced by a tough, hardened woman of poverty.
But despite the horror, they succeed.
They do. After 10 years, they pay off every single penny.
They clear the principal loan and all the terrible interest rates. They are finally free.
Which brings us to the shocking climax of the story.
One Sunday, Mathilde takes a walk on the Champs-Élysées to rest after a week of hard labor.
And she notices a woman walking with a child.
It is her old friend, Madame Forestier. And Madame Forestier still looks young, beautiful, and charming.
Mathilde feels this sudden wave of emotion. Now that the immense debt is paid, the fear is gone.
Right, she has nothing to hide anymore.
Exactly. So she decides to approach her friend and reveal the whole truth. She walks up and says, "Good day, Jean."
Madame Forestier is completely confused. She doesn't recognize this rough, old-looking woman calling her by her first name.
She thinks a stranger is speaking to her.
Mathilde says, "No, I am Mathilde Loisel."
Madame Forestier cries out in shock, "Oh, my poor Mathilde, how you have changed."
Mathilde stands tall. She says she has had very hard days, and it was all because of her friend.
She asks if Madame Forestier remembers the diamond necklace she lent her for the ministry ball 10 years ago.
Madame Forestier says she remembers it well.
And Mathilde looks at her and says, "Well, I lost it."
Madame Forestier doesn't understand. She says, "But you brought it back."
Mathilde calmly explains the substitution.
She explains how they found an exact replica, bought it for 36,000 francs, and spent the last 10 years doing brutal labor to pay off the debt.
And Mathilde actually smiles with a proud, innocent joy. She says, "At last it is ended, and I am very glad."
Madame Forestier stops walking. She is deeply moved.
She takes Mathilde's rough, red hands in her own and delivers the final, crushing blow.
"Oh, my poor Mathilde. Why, my necklace was paste. It was worth at most 500 francs.
The diamonds were fake.
Fake.
Paste is an old term for imitation diamonds made of glass. The original necklace was essentially worthless costume jewelry.
It is a devastating realization.
Right.
10 years of slavery.
The loss of her youth.
The destruction of her husband's life. All to replace a piece of cheap glass. They truly paid the price for their silence.
Pay the price. That is our final, vital expression today.
Right. While they paid a literal price of thousands of francs, the idiom "to pay the price" means something slightly different, right?
Yeah, it means to experience the negative consequences of your actions or mistakes.
Like, if you refuse to sleep, you pay the price by becoming sick.
Exactly. Mathilde let her pride prevent her from telling an embarrassing truth, and she paid the price with a decade of her life.
It is a heavy price.
Yeah.
But, analyzing her journey, is it purely a tragedy?
What do you mean?
Well, think about her character development. During those 10 years in the attic, she completely stopped whining about her imaginary destiny.
That's true. She stopped living in a fantasy world.
She rolled up her sleeves and fought a brutal war alongside her husband to survive. She developed a profound resilience.
So you're asking, did the suffering actually make her a stronger, more capable person?
Yeah, did it.
That is the complex irony Maupassant creates here. Outwardly, she becomes rough and ugly. But inwardly, the crisis strips away her vanity.
She finds a heroic strength she never knew she possessed. She faces reality head-on.
But the tragedy remains that her newfound character was forged on a complete illusion. She found her strength, but she sacrificed her youth to protect a piece of glass.
Wow. It really forces you to reevaluate the cost of pride.
It does.
Let's quickly review the key lessons for our language learners today. We covered 3 important vocabulary words that you should try to use in your daily conversations.
First, we explored destiny, which is the guaranteed path your life will take, similar to fate.
Second, we learned ecstasy, an overwhelming feeling of intense happiness or extreme joy.
And third, we discussed substitute, a verb meaning to replace one thing with another.
We also looked at the expression, "make up your mind," which means to finally make a decision among choices.
And pay the price, meaning to face the negative consequences of a choice.
Perfect. But the core lesson of the story goes far beyond the vocabulary, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The narrative warns us about the immense danger of false pride.
If Mathilde had simply possessed the courage to tell a humiliating truth immediately, she could have saved a decade of suffering.
The truth might sting for a moment, but a lie can cost you 10 years.
So true. We highly encourage you to practice using the words destiny, ecstasy, and substitute in an English conversation this week. Building your vocabulary requires active use.
Go out and try them.
Before we finish, I want to leave you with one final thought to consider. Mathilde exhausted her life to protect an image of wealth that was entirely fake. She valued the appearance of the diamonds over the reality of her own life.
Which sounds very familiar today.
It does. Look at our modern world. It's filled with curated social media feeds, heavily filtered photos, and people going into debt just to buy luxury brands. We have to ask ourselves, what fake diamonds are we carrying?
Are we exhausting our own lives to protect an image?
Right. Are we paying a terrible price to protect an image that isn't even real? Thank you for watching and listening on English ABC.
Keep questioning the stories you read.
And we will see you next time.